Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at the newly released Hitmontop as a Shadow variant in the open Great League, I want to say, but no, we're going to have the single type cup today, which is of course also something interesting at least. We're going to have a team here that's pretty similar to the team that we already had earlier with the Pinsir, but this time around we're going to have the Lickitung on the back to provide us a little bit better support against Kaiwei, and actually Lickitung was a very good pick for this team, or in general, very decent Pokemon. We're going to have again the Say-Swap of the Kaiwei, pretty safe Say-Swap, but I could see that changing over the time for this meta. I have to say, those battles were insanely fast in general. Even though we have a lot of bulky Pokemon, it is a lot of fun to play this cup right now, and I really enjoy it, which is something very cool, because recent cups at least I didn't really enjoy, but this one seems to be super fun and honestly very cool cup. So good job Niantic so far. We most likely going to see some shifts that makes it a little bit worse or whatever for people, but this cup was a lot of fun to play. What it was not a lot of fun was this matchup here. Sadly, I'm going to lose this first game here, I think, with my Hitmontop. But of course, we're going to have a lot of wins, but also a lot of losses in this video, as always. But there is going to be a video tomorrow for a different team that I already played now, which performed insanely well. Honestly, definitely stay tuned for tomorrow's video. Tomorrow's team going to be the best team, I think, for this cup, because like I destroyed people. I literally mopped the floor with them. Like, it was insane how strong this team is, but stay tuned for that tomorrow. Check the video out then as well. Leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already on this video as well, of course. And we're going to see a matchup for the Mew. Honestly, look at this, by the way. Boom! They run Focus Blast. This is, I think, the first Mew ever I've seen running Focus Blast. Like, what is going on here? We're going to have the Lickitung against, and still we're going to be able to go for the Body Slam here. This should knock them out here, right? Nope, it actually does not by a few HP, and we should be able to farm them down usually with a Lick, but you saw it already, even at 2x speed. We had a crazy frame drop, so my opponent was able to realign here, which was not how it's supposed to happen. And it actually is definitely kind of killing us here right now, at least what I thought. But I can play around it a little bit still, but of course it would have been way better for me if I was able to realign, which is how it's supposed to happen, but of course with some lag it doesn't work. But you see me here that I'm going to give the opponent a little bit more farm, so my Kaiwei is going to be a little bit lower, and we're gonna go all in for Hitmontop, Stone Edge, that hopefully going to knock them out, right? We are Shadow, let's take a look at this one. Boom, going to do not enough, but one more counter will be enough, and they don't have enough energy to get to 2 Dark Pulse here, or more, they don't have enough health left anymore, as we're going to be able to counter them down. Speaking of counter, we're going to have another counter friend here. It's going to be the Haxorus. Haxorus, actually, sadly, because of the breaking swipe, going to be able to force another shield from me, but I'm going to swap out instead rather here, and we're going to get out the Registeel, which is amazing. I'm not sure why the opponent didn't go for the breaking swipe first, because Registeel cannot knock me out here either. Like, if you're going to see here right now, Registeel will not be able to knock me out with one charge move. They needed the damage basically from Breaking Swipe. If they just ran for Breaking Swipe, I wouldn't even be able to knock them out with 2 charge moves either. So I don't really understand the decision from the opponent here, but it is fine, as we're going to see the Meganium coming in. And we're gonna do so much damage with our Kaiwei here against this poor soul. As you see, we're gonna get the Meganium insanely low. And at this point of time, I feel like I just want to farm them all the way down. I don't really care too much about my Pokemon here. I'm just going to let this all go through, and our Hitmontop is going to deal a lot of damage later on with the counter, I feel like. So what we're going to see as well is going to be another charge move from the opponent. I'm going to swap out here right now, as the opponent also going to swap, and we're going to see the Haxorus coming back in again. I thought of letting this move go through, but I didn't want to risk it, so I'm going to shield this move up, and they don't have a move yet on the Meganium, which was very important. They were definitely very close there, but this is going to be a good game. Let's take a look at the next opponent. Kaiwei lead, horrific lead for us, but we will be able to swap out into our own Kaiwei. This matchup is not really ideal for us, but it's still going to be okay. We can at least go toe-to-toe here, but of course we're going to be one fast move behind the opponent, as we are swapped in there in the beginning. And the opponent went straight for the charge move. They didn't go straight for the charge move and overfarmed by like 1. You actually can tie again against them, but here right now it's sadly not possible. Great play by them to basically go ahead and farm up all the energy and then basically swap out. And of course, horrible play by me to not wait out the switch clock first before I swap into my Lickitung. So definitely blame me for that mistake. I can still swap out into my Hitmontop, but the only play that I still have left here would be to shield up the move, try to farm them all the way down. We don't get the debuff, which is kinda actually bad for me. I think I would have been able to maybe win this game if I got the debuff, because then I would have had 2 close combats right now. And yeah, I will be able to, I think it was a Focus Blast though, was it? Most I don't think it was even a Zapkin, so like there was no reason for me to get debuffed. But here we're going to see now our nemesis, the Machamp. Does 2 Body Slam will be enough? We're going to see here, does do basically half of the health. Is this enough to knock them out here? Nope, it's not. They survived by like literally 1 lick range there, which is kinda sad. But for getting hard countered, I'm kinda fine with that. Speaking of getting hard countered, well, look at this opponent here. Horrific lead. Kaiwei against our fighting type. We're going to have here the Greedent against our Kaiwei. Luckily, they're running Tackle, which is way better for us because it does generate energy way slower, as well as it's going to be double resisted compared to the Bullet Seed, which would be neutral. But of course, this Pokemon still can tank quite a few moves. But because I kind of want to keep my Kaiwei alive here, I'm just going to go ahead and now swap into my hardest answer, which seems to be weird first, but I would just want to get some counters in to put them into range for Dark Pulse. That's all I want here. But also the opponent going to swap into their own Kaiwei, allowing me to go for a Stone Edge here. And this Stone Edge is going to do no damage because they're going to shield it up, but it's going to force the final shield, allowing me now to swap into my own Kaiwei. You see the IVs on the side, we have a high attack one here. This is like a traded one, which is pretty damn bad. But it doesn't matter because we just knock them out here. That's going to be amazing for us. And as said before, our only goal was to try to get them to the Dark Pulse range right now. And this is exactly what we did. In comes now Machamp, but we still have to catch a move here because it's going to be a CMP tie. And say hello to the rock side, my good friend LilyNiRiain. As they're going to be able to take this move pretty easily. They are forced to throw, but they are not throwing, and you know already what this means. LilyNiRiain going to be able to beat this Machamp, which is something that you don't see every day. But I will take that here. Let's take a look at the next opponent. We're going to see a Shadow Ninetales in the lead. It's going to be fairly decent for us because Shadow Ninetales is way better than the normal Ninetales for us, as we are easily able to farm them all the way down. But they're going to swap out into the Kaiwei, allowing me to farm up to 2 close combats and allowing me to swap out now into my LilyNiRiain. LilyNiRiain, of course, still gets damaged by the Dark Pulse here, which is going to be a little bit tricky, but we will be able to let this move go through from the opponent here. We can still take 3 Dark Pulses, which is really nice to know. But this Power Whip is not going to do enough damage here to knock them out, but going to get them close enough that we can farm them down, which is a very nice here for us. You're going to see the Ninetales coming in. We will be able to get the shield most likely from the opponent here. Never mind, they're going to let this move go through, and they're going to go into a Machamp, allowing me to go into my Kaiwei here. And now I'm going to go ahead and go for a completely unnecessary bait here with the Dark Pulse. Don't know why I did this, to be fair. I thought it would be obvious that the opponent tries to shield here, but nope, they do not. And like this, we're going to still be able to win this game here because they had no chance of winning this game anymore, so good game there. Next opponent, we're going to see now the Ninetales that I don't want to face as much here, especially with the fast move of Fire Spin here. I tried to catch a move, didn't work out, and we're gonna get completely hard-rolled by the Umbreon. This is really not ideal for us, of course. Like, this is going to be a completely difficult match here to win, because we're just gonna be kind of walled here now. Like, there's nothing that I can really do here. The opponent going to be able to farm me all the way down, and they're gonna end up with 100 energy, switch alignment, and loaded Ninetales in the back. It is not looking too good for us. As you're going to see now, Shadow Ball going to do some pretty decent damage still. And you see me going actually into my LilyNiRiain because I expect the opponent to just throw their energy here. And that's my only play that I can do at this point of time. Hope that the opponent just going to waste all their energy here, which they're going to do. And try to sweep endgame by just praying that our Hitmontop can do something. We can knock out the Umbreon, but we're going to see a Dragonair in the back. And at this point of time, this game is over. Like, there's not a lot that I can do. I have a 1 Body Slam stored, which is kind of nice. But this is basically everything that I have here. And of course, I'm going to lose CMP, but I cannot really do anything about this here either. Because the opponent has so much energy already on the Ninetales, there's not a lot that I can do. The opponent going to be able to go for 1 charge move here right now, and that try to go for my next charge move as well. But of course they have like 5 fire spins in or something, so I'm going to let the first move go through just in case I want to go for a harder hitting move later on. And I will not be able to go for a body slam, which wouldn't have knocked them out anyway. But yeah, that was just tricky. Having the Umbreon against the Kaiwei is just a difficult one. We're going to try to swap again onto the body slam. Didn't work out, and they're going to overfarm me quite a bit. So I got a little bit scared. I'm going to use a shield here just in case it's a Dragon Pulse, which people can run in this meta. Don't know if there is any benefit of running Awkward Tail, to be fair, other than this match up here. If you want to go straight for it, I guess like Dragon Pulse might be even a little bit better for that one. But here the opponent actually going to shield, forcing me to no shield here, so they can like knock me out here. But what I can do is I can get even more energy on my Hitmontop. And there's basically nothing that really wants to take that, right? Other than maybe a Dusclops. Dusclops is going to be pretty bulky. I try to go for another fast move here. But sadly, they're going to be able to go for the Ice Punch. I kind of want to keep the energy, so I'm going to swap out here right now, and we're going to get out the Machamp, and that's going to be a already good game. Again, kind of hard-walled. This is something that I'm going to, like, that I saw a lot of times as well. It is kind of RPS, the cup. Like, it is kind of RPS for sure. But honestly, I like this cup right now still a little bit more than the Open Great League, just because it's way less bulky. It's just like a lot of fun. There are not a lot of XL Pokemon that you really need here for this matter. Of course, we're running the XL variant of Lickitung, which is not really needed. You can use also other Pokemon for that slot, like a Duel, like a Vigoroth, like what we're going to see here as well against us right now, and still should work out pretty well. But here we're going to now be able to go ahead and go into our good friend Hitmontop, try to catch the charge move, but we only caught the body slam there, which is not really ideal for us, but we can now at least take 2 and still survive that. As they can knock out the Vigoroth, but they can now realign, and let's see what they're going to have here. They're going to have the Kofic Regas. Can we still win with our Lickitung here? It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be an uphill battle as well, as the Dark Pulse going to hit, and we're going to have a double in the back, and we're going to forfeit again, because, yeah, there was literally 0 chance for us to win this game. Finally, a decent lead for us. We're going to have the Lickitung in the lead, and we're going to get out the Surfetched. I expect them to have another fighter in the back, and this is basically how I play around this now again. I should have went for the Shadow Ball here, but honestly, at the end of the day, I don't think it really does matter too much. It does, of course, allow the opponent to knock me out here, or force a shield, which I'm never gonna do. But if they have another fighter, I'd just rather take the energy, right? It's going to be a Pinsir. And this is not good for us. Like, this is really not good for us. We can go ahead and go for the Stone Edge, but maybe because of the extra damage, or the extra energy that we had, they might be a little bit scared here. They're gonna go for the Exeter. I'm going to try to swap there. You saw me clicking on the Pokemon, didn't work out. They're gonna go for another Exeter. And now they're gonna go ahead and swap into the Lickitung. My only play is to get as much damage on there as I can, and then swap out into my own one. But no, they're going to let the move go through for whatever reason. I have no idea why. And I will be able to now go ahead and let the Superpower hit me here. It doesn't do enough damage to knock me out. And Lickitung is just the MVP here, winning us this game. Next opponent, Surfetched in the lead. We have the both fighting type boys against each other in the lead here right now. I will be able to farm down here if I use one shield, which is going to be fairly decent for me, but they're going to swap out into Kofic Regas. Maybe should have stayed in for a little bit to get more energy, but I think it's better like this, honestly. I think it's better because I can now just go ahead and go for one Power Whip, farm them down, have a ton of energy still left, and then just punish those Surfetched, for example, again. But here we're going to see now Dark Pulse coming through. We can go ahead and go for the Power Whip here right now. We're getting closer to 100 energy, which is really ideal for me, of course, and I can farm them down in time again. In comes most likely the Duck, the Surfetched here, and of course Surfetched going to take a Body Slam from our Lickitung, which is going to do not enough damage because they're going to shield this move up, but they still have to take another one. This is not really ideal for the opponent, I would say, but it allows me now to go ahead and go into my good friend, the Hitmontop, and I go into this one because I want the energy, and the energy will be worth it as I have 2 close combat stored. Let's say together, boom, and we're going to be able to go for another one, and this is going to just destroy the Surfetched with like the few HP it has left. It is just so absurd now, like the damage that this Pokemon puts out actually surprised me. It worked way better than I expected. Like there was like, I don't know, like of course it's not really the best Pokemon ever, but it actually surprised me how decent this Pokemon worked, just because every charge move we throw, the opponent either gonna go down or they have to shield it. Like there's no in between. You either knock them out or the opponent has to use a shield, and that's kind of wild for a Pokemon. It's literally so strong that you can literally destroy any kind of Pokemon. I think even the Shadow alone Mucky against us would not really appreciate the Stone Edge. Here we're going to undercharge, by the way, so we get more damage against the Double from the opponent. I'm curious what they're going to have in the back here again, as they're going to be able to go ahead and take some more health from the opponent here. I could have tried to swap out onto the Payback, but I don't really want to risk that one, and I can swap back into my Hitmontop, and we're going to see another Pinsir in the back. I'm going to go straight for the close combat to do some damage here against them. Now swap into my Lickitung, And this forces the opponent to go for 2 charge moves, because we saw already before the superpower is not enough. And they go first for the Exeter, and now on the charge move via the CMP tie, they're gonna go for the close combat actually, which will allow me to farm them all the way down here. And I should get the energy in time, and I do get the energy in time, as I'm going to forfeit this game. And that's going to be it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please leave a like, and you see 2 videos on the screen. And on the left side, I tried out the pins there myself, and on the right side, you're going to see the top teams for this meta. So check those videos out if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.